Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express. My name is Balisa Dembe, and I hope you are ready for our very special Tuesday cook-along edition. Now joining us today, not only is our darling resident chef, the taste master herself, Udumi, Chef Chumi. How you doing, girl?
I am doing so well. It feels good to be back in the kitchen with everybody. It is the festive season, so I'm actually quite excited for this cook-along today.
Absolutely. Not only are we being joined by Udumi, but we're also being joined by foodie Sidika Fakir and her darling husband, Herman. Now, this Christmas is just around the corner here in sunny South Africa, and we'll be whipping up a modern, Indian-inspired Christmas menu for those sizzling inspirations. Please just head over to afternoonexpress.co.za right now to get the full ingredients list and recipe so you can cook along with us. Now, Sidika, I'm just so blessed to have you in the loft.
Thank you. I am blessed to be here and just so excited.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw you whipping it up with Udumi all the way in Johannesburg, and I had such FOMO. I wanted to be there. We decided to invite you and your husband so we can make some Indian-inspired Christmas stuff here in Afternoon Express's loft. So, what's on the menu?
So you often don't associate Indian with Christmas, but Indian food is all about bringing people together and sharing moments. So on the menu today, because I have food FOMO, I decided that we must do a lot of things because my table must be full. So tandoori chicken with ghee potatoes, but we're also doing a tandoori fish as well. But what we're also going to do to accompany that is a matar pulao, so a pea fried rice, which is absolutely fantastic as an accompaniment, some roti, and ultimately the accompaniments that make it really awesome is the raita, which is a yogurt and cucumber relish, and a watermelon and mint chili salad.
Now that sounds like something I am all about in the kitchen. Now I'm excited to get started. Herman, do you love it? Out of 10, I think it's safe to say, what would you rate your wife's cooking?
I can't say anything much because, you know, if I say anything negative, I'm going to be in trouble, but I can give it a 10 or 11 out of 10, as you can see on the side. But I love her food.
I love that. Okay, so if you want to cook along with us, you already know where to go on our website, but we are ready to get cooking. On social media, though, we have not forgotten about you. Since we are cooking up an Indian festive feast, we'd like to know from you, what's your favorite Indian dishes? Join the conversation happening right now on Afternoon Express's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and use that hashtag Afternoon Express. Now let's get cooking, honey. What's step number 1?
Absolutely. So it's a multiple array of things that we need to do at the same time. So we need to sort out the protein, so the fish and the chicken. The great thing is that if you're preparing both, you can prepare the same marinade. So just double the recipe. So I'll take you through the main marinade and we'll do the same thing with the fish. But in the process of it, because it's with potatoes and we want to speed things up because you want to spend a lot of time with your family on a special day, get the potatoes in, get the potatoes peeled, and let's get them parboiled and we can leave them aside. Okay. And then if we can already start chopping up the onions. And again, nothing fancy here. The onions go into the cavity and are going to be sprinkled over the tandoori fish. So really very roughly cut onions to just add that level of sweetness. But then as we go into the protein, you can do it in any way. You can decide that you want to mix your marinade first and then put it onto the chicken, or if you're in a rush, you do the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the marinade as we're going along, and Hemant, you're going to do the same on your side for the fish. So it's twinning here. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to plop your double cream yogurt. Make it double cream, nothing low fat. Nothing low fat for Christmas,
more
please.
Decadence.
More decadence. There's never too much in Indian food because there's ghee in this thing. There's double cream, there's saffron. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is, let's talk about the ingredients. There's your double cream yogurt, which you plop into your bowl. Okay. There's no major technique about this. You start getting your spices in, and this is the fantastic thing. And I think there's a perception that Indian food's difficult. You can get lots of one pot and one dish dishes.
I think, Sidika, it's just because there's so many layers when it comes to the flavor. As soon as that Indian food touches the tongue, the flavors just ignite all those taste buds. So that's why I think a lot of people get overwhelmed and feel like maybe I'm just not enough when it comes to this dish, and I'm
Absolutely.
not. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I agree. It's the layering of spices. So I mean, look, let's look at this marinade. We plop our chili powder in, and that's about, and again, you're the master of your own heat, like I keep on saying. So all Indian food need not be hot. You can choose it. So if you want extra chili powder, put it in. If you want extra green chili, put it in. So I'm going to plop the chili powder in, and it's layering spices, as you can see. So we're layering with dry spices. The turmeric, which is the orange powder. If you have nice nails, do not touch this thing.
Everything will be yellow.
You will be properly yellow. So that is why I don't do my nails. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
For the very reason I work with so much of turmeric.
Yeah.
So that's why you also have nice skin as well, by the way, because turmeric is an antioxidant and makes your skin really awesome.
I also believe that using turmeric as a power food, whether it's within a shake or a latte, is also really good
yes,
for you.
Golden milk.
I
of
love
course.
a golden milk.
So and it's called the holy trinity of Indian food. So you've got your chili powder, you've got your turmeric, you can mix a cumin powder, so you're going to plop the brown powders in, which is your cumin powder. A teaspoon there, not too much of the cumin powder because it can get quite bitter. So a teaspoon should be sufficient. Your coriander powder, another brown powder. And you've got to smell because they all look identical. So you can smell like a woodiness.
Ooh, yeah.
But still, you still get the fresh tastes. And then we want to plop in some garam masala. Now, they're all brown, but garam masala is a mixture. Hemant, is it 10 spices? It's 10 spices.
10 spices. Yeah, it's 10 spices. There's 7 spices or 10 spices.
Oh,
it depends on how you want to layer the ingredient in the garam masala itself.
Stunning.
That's it. And then, now, what we also add in is you can add in a wet masala into this or a red powder masala, just to add in some more color. Now, these are shop-bought, easily bought. The ones that I have at home are homemade. I'm blessed. My mother-in-law sends it from Durban. That's me. Should I say, I'm a purveyor of spices and masala.
I know that all too well.
So you can plop your red masala in here. And again, tomato puree leaves the moisture in the chicken and adds in a beautiful red tone. So that's there. And what is Indian food without ginger and garlic?
Oh, yes.
And 2 tablespoons in here. It adds a beautiful freshness, but it also adds a level of warmth as well. And that beautiful smell you get when it roasts is just superb. Some garlic paste. And again, it could be fresh, it could be shop-bought. What we're also going to do is add in some sugar. And I know you're probably going to laugh. The sugar adds in sweetness because the puree is quite sour. So you need to balance spices at any given time, and the spices could be quite bitter. So this is why we add in the sugar.
The same thing used to happen, you know, growing up, born and raised in Durban, I used to love my Indian dishes and Indian curries. But also growing up, I did not have such a strong palate, so I couldn't take all the heat. My mom would add some sugar, add that sugar in there.
That's it.
Or if maybe we felt that the tomato isn't cooked out fully, to counteract that bitterness, you add sugar.
100% right. And never feel shy to add in a bit of sugar because of that sweetness. And then the last dish is my favorite. I think, and I shouldn't be picky and choosy on spices, but I love saffron. Saffron is the most indulgent. She's indulgent, she's sexy, and she just adds this rosy, floral taste to the tandoori chicken. And what we do here with the saffron, to get the most out of saffron is exceptionally expensive. So when you buy a packet, savor the thing. And I think the critical thing here is get some warm water, steep some strands in here, and you can opt to put, I opt to put quite a bit of saffron in, but you can opt to put a couple of teaspoons in as well. So then that goes in there.
I think maybe the viewers are also quite curious about the difference of the masalas. We've got red masala, we've got garam masala, we've got tandoori masala. What's the difference of all these masalas?
When we say masala, it's mixed with multiple spices. So a red masala would come with maybe a garlic powder, a ginger powder, and a cumin powder and chili powder in it. Then you'd have a garam masala, as Hemant said, and his mum has her own special. Every Indian auntie has their own recipe. So I'm probably going to get comments, but my garam masala is like this and mine's like that. So masalas are mixtures of spices, whereas a coriander powder is straight base coriander ground. A cumin is straight base ground, roasted and ground. Heat turns spices on in Indian food. And so most of the spices are definitely roasted either on the stovetop or in the oven.
Interesting.
Beautiful.
So then you're just going to mix this up, and we have then our marinade done.
I love that.
Fantastic.
Whilst we're on that stage, on that marinade, whilst it's put together, I mean, I don't know how Herman is doing over there. He was very open at the fact that he is cooking along just as well, as much as the rest of South Africa is also learning in this masterclass. How many tips and tricks are you picking up, or is this a standard in the household?
Well, I'm picking up the tricks because I normally don't spend time in the kitchen. I pervade the goods, the ingredients, and I just hand it over because, you know, most Indian men, we are known to just hand over and walk away.
And he washes all the dishes,
yes.
by the way.
So I'm the neatness freak in that part in our home, that I do not like to see dishes piling up, and I want to clean up and move out so it does not end
I
up
love-
falling around.
It's all about balance in the house.
Yes,
All about balance.
yes.
It's all about balance. So then, now that the marinade's done, what you can also opt to do to add in another level of sweetness is take an onion and puree it with some green chili. But again, master of your own heat. So you decide how you want to do it. And the marinade just gets thicker. Now, the cool thing, if you're planning your Christmas lunch or Christmas dinner, do this the night before.
Yes.
So get your marinade in, and Hemant, on your side, you're going to take your marinade and plop it over the fish.
Yes.
Okay, you've already patted dried your protein. Ensure that you do pat it dry quite well, because we ideally want to get as much moisture out so this marinade sticks on quite nicely. This is where you get dirty. So get your hands in there, and I think that that's the critical thing, because you really want to get it into, you want to get this marinade into everything, whether it's the fish, and again, you're tapping it over the fish, using your hands, and I guess that this is such an awesome dish, because you could potentially also cook it half in the oven, and if you're having a braai, get it onto the braai.
We are about to put the finishing touches on the second half of this recipe. So while Stumi dries up those tears of joy and we continue to cook, please just head over to our Afternoon Express website to get the full ingredients list and recipe to be cooking along with us. Now on social media, since in the loft we're cooking up an Indian festive feast, we'd like to know from you, what is your favorite Indian-inspired dish? Please join the conversation happening right now on the Afternoon Express Facebook, Twitter and Instagram page, and use our hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. See you after these.
I'll go. Lawana music. Oh, he's back. Oh. Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
Express yourself.
some black wells.
Snap, black cat peanut butter.
Buy any 4 participating products and stand a chance to win 10,000 Rand daily. Add a twist to everyday meals.
Welcome back to the Afternoon Express Cook-Along, and thank you so much for joining us this Tuesday. Now, we are in the festive season, well in our way amidst December, and Christmas is around the corner. So we decided to call on some head chefs, some head chef extraordinaires in all things Indian cuisine, and that is Siddiqa and her beautiful husband. So what are we cooking today, and how far are we in this recipe?
We're almost there. So we are doing a tandoori chicken and a tandoori fish, separately, of course, with some ghee roasted potatoes. So ghee is clarified butter. We are serving that with the matar pulao, so rice and pea dish, served with some raita, with some ghee roti, and probably one of my personal favorites, a watermelon and mint and green chili salad.
Delicious. Now, all them South Africans right now are like, where can we get this recipe from? You already know we are your hookup at Afternoon Express. Just head over to our website, and we've got the full recipe and ingredients list, so you can cook along with us. Now, let's get cooking.
We're almost there. So get that. I think what we can do is get the lemon juice, the green chili. At this stage, you can salt as well, because we're going to get that into a paste. And I think the key thing here is you can use a pestle and mortar, but at home, because we don't like the smell of onions on one's hands, we use a grinder. So you can use a NutriBullet or whatever.
Yeah.
You have a blender, should I say. And I think the critical thing is get it to as fine as possible or as rough as possible. The rougher it is, the thicker your gravy is going to be when you get it in.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we're going to get in, so we can get the onions in if you're ready.
Yeah.
And what we are doing parallel to that is, if those potatoes are already boiling, I think that that is an important component as well. So again, salt to taste. If you don't prefer salt and want to use extra lemon juice, you're more than welcome to as well. So I think the thing is, Hemant, on your side as well, I think you can let these onions go in as well.
And can I just pass you these chunky onions that you're also going to be
Yes,
adding?
please. And we're going to just a bit of weightlifting there, and you can just mix it up in there. It is gonna go in together and just almost settle it in with your marinade. So now you say that there's paste onions or finely chopped onions that makes the marinade thick, and then there are these thickly cut onions. You may want to season them with a little bit of salt, and then that goes into the cavity of the chicken, but it also gets sprinkled around with fish. Okay. So that becomes the soft, sweet, lusciousness that you're going to be able to eat the protein with. So it's absolutely fantastic.
Beautiful. And I do see there's quite a repetition, a strong repetition, in fact, when it comes with the onions and that spicy flavor. Is this just a straight up Indian inspired dish? So. Is this stuff that you'd see within recipes?
Absolutely. So this is, I would say, this is, well, North Indian, right, Hemant?
Yes, so this is the North Indian dish. Basically, so North and part of Southern Indian dishes. With the tandoori, basically, they want to use the spices, and what they actually also do, one of the way of doing is that they either do this in the ground itself when they used to cook it in the old days, or now what they do is basically they make it on a braai.
Now, what's one key element that South Africans cannot forget when putting together a traditional tandoori?
It's exactly try to marinate.
Okay.
Overnight, please. So do it the night before, get it in, forget, and carry on. So pre-prep here, because that saffron's there, the ginger and the garlic, that fish is going to already start cooking.
Yes.
All right, a little bit. So you already are pre-prepped in principle. In fact, with the fish, you could do it the day before. Have your marinade in the fridge. Get that fish in. Chicken, try and do it overnight, because that meat is going to just fall off the bone.
Yeah.
And then your other holy grail, clarified butter.
Yes.
That's it. You have to. There's no oil here, there's no margarine, there's no butter. Clarified butter.
Okay.
Melted clarified butter, because you're just going to have all of those spices be brought together and you just get this warm, buttery taste.
Interesting. So basically, in essence, this recipe, could it work with any other protein?
Absolutely.
Yes.
But longer now. If you're doing lamb, or if you're doing a big piece of beef, absolutely, definitely longer on the lamb. And this lamb needs to cook like really slowly. So once you get your marinade tapped, girls,
the sky's the limit.
Now, I want to add in something. This is, again, it's gluten-free, which is an awesome thing. It is keto, okay? So this dish caters for a lot of needs. Now, if you were to take a whole head of cauliflower, you're catering vegetarian.
Wow.
This is my favorite Christmas go-to for the very fact you could put a cauliflower, you could put fish for pescatarians, or you go chicken, or you go red meat. You
Love
choose.
that. Okay, let's
So
get
we're going
those
to get.
potatoes
So these
in.
are already parboiled. Make your life easy. Parboil them for 10 minutes. Get it in, and I mean meat and potatoes. I don't think any South African's going to shout at me for that.
That's my main category, meat and potatoes. I don't forget the vegetables. This is my way of doing things. I am old school, and I like it old school.
No, we like it your way too in South Africa. If you have been cooking along with us, or if you just tuned in wondering what is on the menu, we are making a delicious Indian-inspired meal that is going to make essentially the entire family happy. So just head over to our website to get the full ingredients list. Now, Sidika, let's go in with that butter.
Fantastic. So there we go with the ghee. And I think it's ghee roasted potatoes. So put a little extra on here. So about 5 tablespoons of ghee. It sounds a lot, but believe me, it isn't. It's going to get absorbed into those potatoes. Those potatoes are going to come out crispy and brown. And yes, that's my favorite part of tandoori chicken is the crispy potatoes. And then you're just going to drizzle some ghee onto the top here. Now, you haven't gotten it wrong. It's not going to get crispy on the skin because let's be honest, the yogurt's already on the skin, but it's going to get this beautiful brownish tone. So after this is done, I recommend get it into the oven but with some foil on. Okay. And it's the size of your chicken. A chicken medium size like this, so medium to large chicken can take about 45 minutes on about 180 degrees. Because your potatoes are already parboiled, they're going to work in, and the juices from the chicken are just going to get also absorbed into the potatoes, which are fantastic. And the same with the fish, much less time. You probably want to do about 15 to 20 minutes with the fish, and then take that out and just let it rest.
Lovely. Okay, so let's put that in. Let's make sure that we've got all these recipes. Now, essentially, when we do take it out after those 45 minutes, it'll come out looking as beautiful as this finished product does here. Now, when it comes to your family diving into your food and enjoying, what sticks out for you? What's the number one thing when you want people to keep saying, we want more? What is that?
I think that factors the shareability and the presentation. I'm anal, so the food can't just taste good. It needs to look beautiful. It has to look beautiful because you eat with your eyes first and foremost.
Delicious. Now, for some people who do love to stuff their chicken, would this also come in handy with just keeping all of those flavors in? Because essentially, whether it's turkey, chicken, a lot of people just love the decadence of Christmas and being over the top in the kitchen.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome to use the string to tie the 2 drumsticks together. Not necessarily, because I also can't get that thing right. So I shove, foil, get it in, and move. And now if you think about it, your protein's in the oven. You're free to do other stuff. And that's my best part of Christmas, the roast.
And when it comes to the traditional Christmas, what does a traditional Christmas look like in your household?
Basically, our traditional Christmas is the table needs to be full, has to be food and drinks, but company. You know, we need, and one of our traditions basically is that family has to be together always. We do not miss a Christmas. We're always sitting down at the table. We are eating, we are celebrating, and we are enjoying life.
Well, if you are ready to enjoy life and get into that festive spirit, please do join us by cooking along with us. After the break, though, we are going to be making something delicious as well. So what's on the menu after these?
So we've got matar palau next, we've got some raitha next, and we've got the watermelon and mint salad.
Well, all of that coming up.
Express yourself.
fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, Mzansi. Yes, you got it right. We are cooking along, and I hope that you have been joining us from the top of the show. Now it's time, Sadika, to be putting those sides into the mix. We got the protein.
Done.
We got the chicken. We got the fish.
Done.
We had Harman Harman today also whipping it up, creating magic.
I am a master of everything, yeah.
So then when it comes to making the roti and what is up next, I mean, what does South Africa need to make this magic?
So simply, flour, salt, sugar, and again, go onto the website, get the recipe, and some rapidly boiling hot water. But let's not forget, the master ingredient is not the flour, but the ghee, of course. I think you're going to get used to me. That's the ghee, yes. And we hear the halo of angels. But I just want to say that this roti recipe's taken me 10 years to get right, because I never could get roti right. That's the first thing any Indian mother's going to ask her son, can you cook roti? And I had to say to my mother-in-law for him, no, I can't. I'll learn. And first they came out like tortillas, then pretzels.
Little maps of the world.
Little maps of the world. Yes, we traveled the world with our roti. It was, I cried. You know, those bad snot cries.
You got emotional.
I got emotional about it. But it's taken me 10 years. So if you don't get it right the first time, try. Because it's all about the hand and how you're going to get the dough.
So when it comes to making that delicious, refreshing side, I love the refreshing side of it because depending on how hot you've made your protein, this is something that can cool it down.
That's it. And that's the art of Indian cuisine. If there's heat, you cool it with an accompaniment.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the raita is. And I'm sure you've seen the raita with biryani.
Yeah.
But now you're probably going, okay, wow, it's with the tandoori. Absolutely, because if you've decided to put extra chili powder in that protein, this cools it completely. I personally love raita in a roti. I mean, just plain. It's fantastic. So it's absolutely, it's such a lovely accompaniment. With the raita, basically, you're going to top the ends and off of your cucumber, cut it in half and start grating. The important thing with the raita, though, squeeze out that water. You have to squeeze out the water after you've grated because you don't want a slop. You want it thick and luscious when that double cream yogurt.
So
once again,
that's what I've been getting wrong.
Basically, that's it.
I love that.
I got it wrong as well for many times until I figured, but why is it soup? It's not meant to be. So you literally going to squeeze out that water. So you'd need the hands of a strong male.
So you'd put,
we have him on here.
So you'd put the cucumber maybe in like a cheesecloth or something.
You could do that, or a muslin. Absolutely.
Or a muslin, yes.
Or if you don't have it, squeeze.
Just squeeze.
Just squeeze.
This is why we had to bring Sadika back, because I realized that I've been doing a lot of dishes wrong. The first cook along we did, I was like, okay, clearly I've been doing a non-Indian dish. And she was like, don't worry, girl, you learn as you go. This is why she had to come back.
Thank you. And it's about simplicity. Let's never be intimidated in the kitchen for Indian food. It's just so simple. And if Hemant is grating a cucumber, anyone can make this dish.
Okay, so you did say that the ghee is, you know, something that we have to pay special close attention to when we're making this. So what do you want me to do with this? And I know we're going to be doing a bit of sharing here.
Fantastic. Can you plop it into a pot or even a bowl when, if you're at home? Just get it in there on very low heat. The key thing here with the roti is you don't want a solidified ghee because you may land up with too much and then you'll land up with very oily roti.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to just melt that ghee because we're going to plop the ghee in first. Well, I'm getting some sugar and salt into the roti. I'm going to mix that around, and then as soon as you're ready with that ghee, we're going to put the first half of the ghee into the roti as soon as that's melted.
Okay.
And then we are going to get a breadcrumb texture going. And Hemant, whilst you are grating that cucumber, Chef Tumi, you're going to be doing a lot of chopping for us.
Yes. Like I said today, I am sous chef. I'm just sous chef. I'm just following instructions. You say jump, I say how high. So I'm chopping the mint, chopping the chili, chopping the coriander.
Basically, that's it. So you chop as finely as possible. And again, master of your own heat. You choose how hot you want it. If kids are going to have it and they don't have a hot palate, leave the chili out. And the whole thing of why the red onion, it just looks so much more festive and pretty. I mean, it's a Christmas tree in a bowl. It's just so beautiful. So that should be ready.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do, and this is the thing on roti, which I learned after many failures, is so you have 6 tablespoons of ghee here. Right, so it's not boiled. So you're going to put your first 3 tablespoons in, okay? And this is something I learned, that you've got to get the breadcrumb going first. And that was my learning lesson, that you've got to
So it's all about the texture and the consistency.
It's texture and consistency, and that's what I've come to love.
Okay, wow.
And again, what my other secret is that I've learned, because we like our rotis really soft, it's rapidly boiling hot water, not warm, not cold, rapidly boiling hot water. You learn to get asbestos hands.
Okay, so someone says they have to have leather hands in the
Yes.
kitchen sometimes.
That's it.
So you get a cup.
Rapidly boiling hot water. I generally just take it out straight from the kettle. So that's for 2 cups of flour, you're going to get a cup of water in. Now this is the weird thing. If it's really hot sometimes, you want to put less water because it's humid. So it's actually like bread. The temperature
Will affect how it
the dough.
cooks.
That's
Oh,
it.
wow.
So what I do is, this is a little trick of mine, I fill the half a cup in. So it's about kind of 300, 350, 375. But then I fill half of the half a cup, okay? And then what you can do is, before your hands go in, is just get it in there.
I kind of feel like this is a science lesson. Yeah. Talk about a master class.
There we
so
go.
you just keep slowly, and it's all just about the measurements and taking your time.
It's all about taking your time. Ghee goes back in, right? So there's that, and then you literally are going to get your hands dirty.
Okay, so whilst we're getting our hands dirty on this side, I've switched on our pan, getting it hot, getting it ready for as soon as that roti dough is ready to go in. And Tumi, on your side, how's it going?
Yes, so
We are working it. We're working
Excuse me,
it.
chef. Sorry, chef.
We are working it.
Yeah.
But it's good. You know, we're learning, and well, I'm learning a lot.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is that you girls are really making this entire scene and eating experience even more wonderful.
It's a family affair,
Fair, yes.
It is, yeah. So I'm just chopping up our red onions that are going to go into our raita. I've also got some mint that I've chopped up nice and finely, some chili. All of this is going to be bound together by this amazing clover bliss, and basically that's the cooling element that you mentioned. It's a double cream yogurt, and it also has 10 vitamins. So I don't know if you know about that. So not only are we getting all our vitamins and minerals from the fresh ingredients, but we're also getting it from this. So we're getting nice and cool with this deliciousness of this recipe.
Making the right choices in the kitchen, I think that's what it's all about. Because essentially, when you do take care of yourself, you do take care of the family. You make sure that you're giving them nothing but the best. Now, this is heating up. I think we're almost ready.
So we've got some dough. So we're going to pre-done. So
Shh, don't tell him that. It's our secret.
But what I wouldn't recommend, don't store it in the fridge. Do your dough, get your rotis fresh up. So I think that's the critical thing. And you literally, and it depends on how soft you want your roti or how hard you want your roti, you're going to take your dough, literally in a ball, okay, like so, right?
I know sometimes I see a lot of people doing this when they got dough.
There we go. Look at you. Look at you.
I know I see that a lot.
So that's exactly that. So sprinkle like that. Exactly.
So this is just to make sure that the dough doesn't stick on whatever you're using to roll it out.
Basically, that's it. So you literally have all the fun, and this is where Heman says that you get your shapes of the world.
Is this where the map comes in? We're not only taking you on a culinary journey here, but even with the sides and the shapes of our roti. So whilst you roll that out, depending on the size, we whip it up. I just want to get one on the pan so that we can see that golden brown color and see how it comes together essentially. Because when we do look at that finished product, it looks like I just went to, you know, that traditional corner shop at Tekwini in Durban, and I just asked for a nice side of roti, and that's essentially what comes out every time.
And you learn, and I'm getting closer and closer every day to a round roti. And literally, there we go. Shall I plop it in?
I'm going to let you do the honors. Get that in there. I hope that I haven't.
Now, you could use a flat frying pan, no griddle, because you don't want those griddle lines, but a flat pan, anything that is quite flat, a pancake pan. In normal Indian households, it would be what we call a tawa. A tawa. So a flat pan that allows the rotis to rise. There's an old housewives tale, if your rotis puff up, your mother-in-law is going to like you. Mine have never puffed up.
Oh, how does that make you feel, Harman?
That was always an awkward when she actually told my mother that, you know what, she couldn't make it. And I got the look like, are you going to marry this woman? Is she going to feed you? I said, don't worry, I'm covered.
Wow. And look at you guys today. How many, 12 years later?
That's it, 12 years later.
Stunning.
And food's brought us together, of course. So
Food not only bringing you together, but you bringing you and connecting you with not only us here in our loft, but with our viewers at home. Now, I surely hope that you are cooking along with us, Mzansi. You already know to head over to our website to get this full ingredients list to be making this magic in the kitchen. This looks really good. I know that we're not done yet. We've got one more recipe.
that's it.
What is that?
So we are going to do the matar palau, which is a pea rice, but not a fried rice, a rice cooked in flavored water. So I'm very excited about that as well.
I'm as excited. We'll catch you after these.
Express yourself.
Tuesday, so you know what that means. It is the traditional afternoon express cook-along, but today we're taking it all the way to India, honey. And if you would like to be cooking along with us, just head over to our website. Now we've got Sadiqa here, and Sadiqa, you have decided, you're not going to come alone. You are going to have the family well represented by bringing on your husband. Now, how proud are you, Hermit, when you do see your wife in such a stance and taking over such kitchens?
I am overwhelmed. I am truly overwhelmed. You know, the thing that what I normally experience and I take sometimes for granted, and I'm sharing her now with South Africa.
Absolutely.
And her techniques, her skills, that just blows us away.
Superior.
Yeah.
Now let's get into all the superior quality of everything that you're whipping up here. So we've got our sides, we've got our protein ready, but now this is something else, alternatives essentially that
Absolutely.
You can add.
And again, I think I am a side addict because I end up eating the sides before the main. But now this dish could even be a main. Okay. So remember, multiple dietary requirements at a table, but you want to make everyone feel so at home. Mm-hmm. This is a vegetarian dish. Gluten-free. If you were to swap out the ghee for some oil, canola oil, vegan. So we're going to make a matar pulao, which is a rice dish, but it's the rice boiled in the spices, which is different. So you're not going to boil the rice and then put it in. You're going to actually boil it in the flavored spicy liquid. And then on your side, Chef Tumi and Hemant, you're going to be making one of my personal favorites. It's a watermelon and mint and chili salad. So really easy. Get your watermelon. You can even buy it pre-cubed if you're in a rush. And it's literally putting everything together. So getting that watermelon out and cubed. Well, Chef Tumi, if you don't mind, chopping up some mint, some chili, again, master of your own heat. For this one, I like a bit of heat.
Okay.
So I think 2 chilies would definitely do. And then for this, you're not going to finely chop the red onion. You want that red onion to pop out in thin, fine slices.
Okay.
And then at the end, you're going to add to sweetness and add sour, because Indian food is all about that layering. Here we're layering more freshness. Freshly squeezed lemon, a little bit of sugar to contrast that flavor, and you've got a sweet watermelon as well. Then the penultimate, toasted almonds.
Wow.
So you got crunch, you've got sweet, you've got heat, you've got texture.
Just whilst we're on those roasted almonds, you decided that you're gonna skimp out on the goat's cheese, because I have seen this recipe, especially within Durban, and people adding their different types of cheeses, specifically goat's cheese. But today you're using the almonds. Now, why specifically that, and what flavor elevation happens when you're now enjoying it?
So generally in Indian food, the one cheese that is very common is paneer. So you could perhaps roast some paneer, and it's homemade cheese. It's like a cottage cheese or a ricotta cheese. But generally in Indian cuisine, you wouldn't find a cheddar, a gouda, a halloumi. So that's why I've actually just gone without. But I'm also very conscious we have quite a bit of cream. Yeah. We have the raita, we have the tandoori chicken. So I wanted to just contrast with no cream. Yeah. So fresh, something that's sharp. And personally, I sit with this bowl as my starter, my main, and my dessert.
I'm holding you out throughout. Okay.
That's it. So we're going to get cracking on here as well.
Love that. So then as soon as you put that in, when I think of this rice, essentially, for me it kind of is reminiscent of a savory rice. Now, how close is it to a traditional savory rice where you put the turmeric in the white rice and you just add your mixed veg?
So that's the boil factor. Here we're doing the fry factor first, and we literally almost like a risotto. Actually, you'd be frying the rice before we add in the water. So plain water, no vegetable stock, no chicken stock. Okay. You really just want plain water because you don't want to eliminate from the spices that we're going to be frying.
Nice.
So I'm going to plop in some ghee. And I think the key thing about ghee is you don't need a lot of it. And ghee is actually not that unhealthy. Ghee is actually keto. It is actually paleo. And it's actually quite healthy for you.
Love that. Okay, let's go in.
So we're going to get some red chili. And again, red chili doesn't add heat. It flavors the oil. So you add like a warm to it. So you can put 2 or 3 of the red chili. So again, we're going to put our whole spices in. We're going to get some cloves in. So 4. Cardamom. These things are evil. If you've eaten a biryani or a bani chow, these things are bombers.
And you bite into that. Ooh.
Have you seen the memes? I've seen the memes.
And most importantly, you see the face expression.
This, if you want, it's nuclear. It's bad. So don't, be very careful, but plop it in there. So 2 there. So it adds a sweetness to it. Some peppercorns. That's and I know you deem it in Western, but in North Indian, a lot of Gujarati, Punjabi, and Rajasthani food have a lot of pepper in it. In fact, if you wanted to even add in some freshly ground pepper on that watermelon salad, you could.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So, and then I'm going to add in some whole cumin. So the key here is to start smelling that, if you can smell that. So Spice Mistress means you need the heat on, but not to burn them, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that's the critical factor. And you can hear that crackle, and that's a crackle, and you're starting to smell this woodiness, and I think that's the critical thing. Now, what we're then going to do is just add in our peas. So frozen peas, fresh peas, your choice. If you've got the fresh peas, just a kind of get them into some hot water for a little while. If it's frozen, just plop some hot water in them, soak them, and strain them. So we're just going to plop our peas in with some ginger and the garlic.
You can already get the smell coming out. The flavors are just exploding here.
Yeah.
And this is what you want in the dish there. That you want, as soon as you take the first bite, that the flavor just comes rushing at you. And you're going to enjoy that meal with all your other dishes involved.
I love that. And as we were speaking about all this flavor, you're adding alternative types of flavors when it comes to that watermelon dish.
Yes.
I mean, Tumi, how far along are you on that side?
Here we're basically bringing in the sweetness, the coolness, but also a bit of the heat and the warmth in the dish, so you can enjoy something that is so balanced that it's actually an assault in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. So then what you've done here with your rice, you need to wash this rice 3 times. So we've already got ours pre-washed.
Love that.
So pre-wash that rice. You've got to get that white starchiness out because that's where the starchiness is.
Yes.
Must be careful. You do not want a palau starchy. You want the grains
to stand
separate.
out, yes.
That's it.
So essentially 3 times over, you wash it, take your time. It's a labor of love.
It's a labor of love.
Okay.
And that's the most difficult thing about this dish, girls. You have got your peas frying with your ghee and your spices. You're literally going to fry like a risotto, so this could be deemed an Indian risotto.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Italian community now going to tweet us. So you're going to get that in there. And what I love about rice, less is more.
Yeah.
Because we've now flavored this rice, and this is going to pot full. 2 cups of rice can feed up to 6 to 10 people. If it's a side dish, this could feed potentially 12.
Wow.
Which is what I love.
Because we've got huge families, and essentially it takes a village, so let's feed that village.
So this is a value for money dish. The critical thing with your liquid going in, as I mentioned, just warm or hot water to speed up the process. But now for every cup of rice, 2 cups of liquid. And that's your kind of ratio that you use with basmati
1
rice.
is to 2.
That is it.
Okay.
So in here, you've got your 4 cups of hot water. And you just literally plopping that in.
Nice.
And you can season at this point with some salt. Thank you, Chef Tumi. And
the aromas are just amazing. I wish South Africa could actually smell it. Those flavors, that levels of flavor and aromas is just amazing.
That's it. And they're simple spices, but they become complex with heat.
Absolutely.
That's it. And what you're literally going to do now, out there, you get a lid on, and you're going to cook it on low heat for about 20 minutes, but don't stir too much, okay? Because we don't want to break the grade of rice.
Yeah.
So literally, you've got a 20-minute wait, but you can finish prepping up that salad. And again, I like finishing dishes and they just cook on the stove as you carry on with other things.
And you live your life. You know,
and you must live your life.
And that's when you get the dining room table ready, you get it set, because everyone now is going to start rolling in. The family is ringing that doorbell, even those unexpected guests. But don't worry, we've catered for you. And essentially, that's what we're going to be doing.
Absolutely.
It's time to enjoy our food. Thank you so much, Chef Tumi, for holding us down there as sous chef. And of course, we've got our head chefs, Harmand and of course, Sidika. Thank you so much. And Mzansi, I hope that you've headed over to our website and you've gotten all the details to whip up this Indian-inspired cuisine. But we're going to be sitting down in our dining room and chatting to this beautiful couple coming up.
Express yourself.
Protect what matters to you with insurance from Standard Bank. SMS LIFE to 31492 for a quote that fits your needs.
Express yourself.
South Africa, we're calling on you to vote for your favorite South African classics for your chance to win weekly classic prizes. Vote for your favorite music, fashion, dance moves, and more by dialing *120 *2676# for your chance to win.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, and it is eating time. Now, this is my favorite time of the day, I will have you know. We were whipping up a special Indian-inspired Christmas menu today, and I'm sure that you've already headed over to our website and you saw all the ingredients needed to make this magic at home. Now, Tumi, you're carving into that chicken. How does that make you feel,
Alyssa, you don't understand. We talk about Christmas feast, right? And the thing about it is, Sadiq has basically debunked so many myths about Indian cuisine, because the mere fact that we're about to dig into an Indian-inspired Christmas meal is amazing. I mean, the fact that I was making the raita with Herman, and the one tip that you mentioned about squeezing the cucumber and making sure that you get those juices out makes such a huge difference, you know? And a lot of people don't take that into account.
Absolutely, and it's those small things that can either make you or break you in preparing for your feast. And I think, you know, the important thing for me is generally I'm the one cooking for Christmas. And in normal bigger households and should I say pre-COVID, you'd have lots of aunties, your mums, your sisters cooking in you. But I can gladly tell you that you can prepare this yourself.
Absolutely. Now, Sadiqa, you know when you were creating this rice and adding this peas, I get it. South Africa, I'm having an aha moment right now. When you were adding all those flavors into the pot and you were saying it's all about leveling and layering up on it. This is essentially it. But it's not overwhelming.
No.
It's not overwhelming on the palate, and those peas are cooked to perfection.
And I think that that's the important thing. Indian food has spice, but spice doesn't mean hot. And I think that that's the debunk, right?
It must complement the other dishes as well. And, you know, because you're getting like the tandoori chicken or the fish that you're eating with that, you're basically enhancing one flavor, cutting out the other flavor, but just bringing a balance of flavor that you want to enjoy.
Sadiqa, I do love myself a good roti, and I have seen roti being prepared several different ways. And one that I believe is an extreme sport is preparing it over the gas stove.
Okay, that is an extreme sport for even myself. And I have not attempted that yet. I will. I think I need mentorship and a coaching session and maybe a Udemy course or something like that. But it certainly is a way to cook. We see that more in the Southeast Asian Indian community. So up in India, our families from India would tend to that. There's a lot more gas cooking in India. And then electricity cooking in South Africa, a lot more electricity cooking where you'd lay your tawa or your pan, and that's exactly how we do it at home. We have a tawa, but we also have a pancake pan.
Also to take into consideration the type of dough that you're using to make with. Sometimes there's different doughs that actually some will stick, some won't stick.
It's all right. Actually thinking about the dough. So this roti dough, you could actually stuff potato in it and make it an aloo paratha. So if this dough is your versatile dough. Yes.
You see what I mean? This calls for another cook-along. This calls for another lesson.
I think I'm alluding to another cook-along. Right? So this is your master dough. I forgot to say that.
Yes.
Fill it with anything. So we fill it with mince as well. So you know that curried fat cooked mince? So we call it a keema paratha. You'd fill it with mince, or you fill it with potato.
Sadiqa, let me tell you, I am a meat girl. I love my meat, I love my chicken. But this fish is absolutely succulent. It's so tasty. And speak about being a master of your own heat. This is delicious.
That's it. It's those unexpected flavors that you find. You'd normally think about fish, okay, it's just some garlic or some herbs, but this is a different way to serve up and serve up some pizzazz at your table, because you want those Insta moments, right? So you want those pictures to look awesome, and you can imagine just bringing these big protein dishes to the table.
The one thing you guys are showing us is that there's so much variety in Indian cuisine, because the staples are Indian cooking is bani chow, it's curry, it's biryani. Like, I didn't know about a matar palau until today, you know? I didn't know the right way to do things, because there's so many recipes out there, but they're so basic. For the first time in a long time, I've had roti done right, because I've been having rotis and it makes sense. The ghee, can you taste the ghee? It's right there. It's nice and luxurious. It's different from just the normal water and flour.
That's it. And again, it's not oily and starchy. And that's the one thing that irks me when you put too much oil and it's literally dripping down when you're having a curry. So again, 10 years, girls. Still work in progress, but I think we're getting there. And we don't have planet shapes and the world and the atlas.
Practice makes perfect, always.
Indeed.
Well, we do know the festive season is all about family, so thank you for bringing your family onto our show here on Afternoon Express. Now, Mzansi, please do catch us again tomorrow for a holiday fitness routine with TV personality Nathan Castle. But until then, Mzansi, good night, stay safe, and happy feasting. Goodbye. South Africa, Clover wishes you a happy festive season. Celebrate it with friends, loved ones, and all your family favorites. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.